Welcome to the Creative Entrepreneur Show. What do we have this week, Bryon?
Hey, Rosh, really excited to talk this week. We're actually going to be updating our format a bit on this show in general. We're going to be doing a lot of talking more about AI and how it relates to the creative entrepreneur. I'll certainly be bringing AI from the perspective of from the social media side. I know you said you're going to be bringing in a lot of AI perspective on, the programming application Google side of it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm excited to talk today. I want to just talk base level about how us as business owners, entrepreneurs, we need to reprogram our thinking of how to properly utilize this new technology that's now at our fingertips. And it's very, very basic level. We're now on the cusp of the revolution of the question, asking the right questions. And I haven't seen too much written about this yet. So I think it's a topic that's going to explode, and I want to be on the forefront of it. And then also, I want to explore the different roles in using AI. So there are 7 different defined roles of the users of AI, something that I appreciate you sharing with me. And I've done a bunch more research on. So excited to chat about those. Rasha, what do you have going on, bud?
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, the reason we flipped this switch back on this podcast,
Hmm.
last summer was to do this, to really talk about this. And we've expanded, and I would say it's probably more me expanding in different areas and going on different tangents based on the history of the podcast supporting the creative entrepreneur. But the thing that drove us in our conversations really was the AI element and how the creative entrepreneur and the entrepreneur is going to have to deal with what is coming our way. And there's a lot coming our way. And so, if you want to go through those 7 things, we were kind of going back and forth. I laid some of these out, and you had some good input on it. And the way we're going to, I guess, maybe frame the show to keep us focused is around these 7 areas, these 7 relationships or engagements that the entrepreneur can have with AI. In other words, you can focus on one of these areas or a couple of these areas to help keep you focused as you grow your business along with AI, incorporating AI, or just using AI as part of your package. So
Yeah.
feel free to share those.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got them queued up. It's definitely what I wanted to talk about first today. And what we were realizing is, in this first rollout, this first year of AI, is that most people really only fall into this first category. And I think that it's our job in this podcast to talk more about the different spots outside of category number 1 and how you could be more impactful in your overall AI footprint.
Mhm.
So, all right. Without any further ado, we've got your 7 different categories, and we're going to talk about them each a little more. So, top level, you've got number 1, you're a consumer of AI, meaning that you are someone who's using AI, leveraging it for your creative output, and you've used it. You've gone to Chat
Yeah.
GPT, used Dolly. That's most people who are kind of dipping their toe with AI. And then we have the manager of AI. My apologies. So this is managing AI involves overseeing integration with usage of your business. So this is now I've moved to this level to where I've empowered my team to use AI to make sure that our team's output is more efficient, more productive, more creative. So I've, moved to that step of being a manager of the AI. Then there's also regurgitation of AI. So this is somebody who has taken in what the AI has given them, but then given it their own thought and their own spin. And this is really what we keep pushing, right, Rosh? We keep saying, hey, it's not just what AI gives you, it's what you do with it.
Yeah. So the regurgitation of AI, I think originally the idea is regurgitation, meaning you you just take what the AI gives you and you put it out there. That's what the regurgitation part element was, meaning that's what a lot of people do. For example, when you just say, "Hey, ChatGPT, write a 500-word article on this," you copy, you paste. That's the regurgitation of AI. Not a great, enjoyable word, but I thought it really fit what
It
it
does,
what,
yeah.
what it was. Go ahead. I'll
Well,
probably
yeah,
go through them again too and kind of share my point of view too. And
Exactly. Yeah, I appreciate your perspective on that because they're actually what I was alluding to is a kind of a couple steps down the road here. So,
yeah.
there's aggregation of AI, meaning that you are going together and using different AI tools and figuring out how they
Mhm.
all work, and implementing it in different creative ways. And we're really going to give a lot of information on how to do that, to the creative entrepreneur going forward. And then there's collaborating with AI. So
Yep.
I've alluded to this when I talked about, last week, I've used it with creative stuff with my band. Or like you said, when you get that big output of, word or, of any sort of an idea, it's then adding your own back and forth with it. That's when you're collaborating with
Yes.
AI. And then now you were talking, last week about actually feeding the AI. So
Yeah.
being on the other side of it, because, the AI is getting answers from somewhere. And, for the longest time, Google got answers because, we would populate Google with websites and
Right.
information. So we were feeding the Google with our search engine optimization tricks and everything. So now there's extra tricks to feed the AI to make sure that you are the thing that AI mentions and
Hmm.
references. And then lastly, there's the designer of AI. So these are the people that are truly, top level designing how this AI works, thinks, produces, changes, updates.
Right.
And that last part about updates, super important because it's constantly evolving and it's using
Absolutely.
itself to evolve.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, I threw a lot of it out there. So, out of some of these levels, what are some that, you want to expound on or some that relate to you,
No,
Rush?
you did a good job. I'll go through it backwards because I kind of have that top level. I start with the designer, developer, creator of AI, maybe the tools, the AI itself, the different AI platforms, that developer. Then the nourishing that you just talked about. In other words, original content. I mean, if the AI just keeps taking from, you produce AI content and then it takes from your AI, it just, it's the circle. Google, people, the AIs need original content, meaning points of view. And we talk about perspectives and how perspectives in Google now, if you go to Google, you'll notice at the top next to images and news is a tab called perspectives. And that's basically trying to weed out all the AI and just get YouTube videos, Reddit, forums. And so we need more of that. And so in some ways, I think it could make the blog more important again. If you're coming from the point of view of, look, I'm providing the original content for people, but also the AI, and then you become part of the expert arena. So that's nourishing. Then collaboration, you are right on combining just back and forth with the AI to develop something. Aggregation, pulling the different tools and using multiple types of tools to create something new. Regurgitation, that's literally copy and paste. Then management. When I think of management, I think of kind of like if you had an assembly line and then you had a bunch of people and now you just have a robot. And so there needs to be somebody managing that robot.
Mhm.
In other words, this is the expectation of you, robot. And this is what, so you're managing the robot like you would an employee. And I think you hit that pretty well. And then obviously the customer, and that's all of us. We're all the customer of AI. And so what are you going to be the customer of? And how are you going to approach that? So that's the framework we want to use. And as we move forward, because there'll be something related to all those things, but it'll
Mhm.
allow us to be focused. And I think that's important when you have that type of framework.
Yeah, and it's exciting. I like a lot what you said for the regurgitation of AI versus feeding the AI. Because if you're trying to put up blogs where you're just regurgitating AI, you are not feeding the AI anything new. And you're
No.
not allowing it to learn. Therefore, you don't really matter in the eyes of AI because it's not any new perspective or information or anything. So that's why, like you said, this Google new tab for perspectives, I believe, is what it's
Yes.
labeled. It's going to matter because we're really going to weed out some of the people who are just regurgitating versus some new thought, and
Hmm.
that's very exciting.
Yeah. All right. Very good. So what do you have next?
All right, cool. So I've been talking about this. I've been really throwing it around in my head of the revolution of the question. So many people have said, Brian, are you gonna, you do a lot with AI and you seem pretty comfortable with it, and are you gonna, maybe teach a class on it? And again, that's why we got this podcast going again, because we
Yeah.
actually talked about teaching a class about AI. And I thought, rather than it be a class and people sitting there for an hour and pay whatever amount, is I want it to be a slow burn. I want us to give this information out for free and have people listen to us month over month or week over week, and kind of get our thoughts, because we're really some of the first people that have used it and applied it to our business.
Yeah.
And I it just kept occurring to my head over and over again that there's almost, it's a virtually limitless of what we can get back from the AI. It's like we've been programmed our whole lives to use computers inside a box.
Yeah.
And you open up Microsoft Word, and you're going to write a document, and that's what you're going to do. Or you open up Excel, you're going to make a spreadsheet, is what you're going to do. And this is the first time where I think we've got a program that we're using that it doesn't even know what it's going to answer until you ask it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
because
Good point.
because before, programs always had to be if A, then B, then C happens.
Yeah.
And now with this, different form of learning, you've got to take yourself a step back and say, with a calculator, you could only put numbers into it before.
Right.
So you were in that box of how to use it. Now we take a step back and say, well, I can ask this thing anything. And
Right.
sometimes it doesn't know the answer, and that's
Right.
fine, and it'll tell you so much.
Absolutely.
Um, but my biggest advice if somebody first starting to use this is just get in there and start asking it questions about, say, hey, I run this type of business. How can I use Chat GPT to make my business better?
Right.
Um, one of the cool hacks that I saw, where it was like somebody is building their business plan for a year, and they said, okay, I do this type of business, list my 10 most popular clients for this type of business in a table, and then under the Y column, also give me their biggest pain points, also list three other things. And the way that they formed the question that they wanted this answer formulated in a table, and recognizable and understandable, ChatGPT was able to understand all of that and give the information back in an organized, consolidated way, because they asked the question the right way.
Yeah. And that's where that term prompt engineering come from. Some people have looked at it as like just kind of a catchy phrase, maybe or a temporary. No, it's a real thing. Engineering these questions. And this is where creatives, I think, are missing the point. No, I get it. I'm a creative. I understand. I'm a photographer. Even video. We're going to talk video in a little bit in AI. And trust me, I see a lot of photography opportunities going away. However, I see more opportunities develop, because I know it sounds strange, but there's going to be elements that we're going to want the human element, just like already that pushback with Google and perspectives already has that in there to weed that out. You as an artist, people will want human created, human expression kind of stuff. Will it change? Absolutely. How that works will change. You'll have to brand yourself better. In a way, it's going to be important to brand yourself, that's above and beyond, or a uniqueness from AI or other creators. But you can take your ideas to a new level that you probably never even realized before by combining all of the different types of new tools that are available to you that you would not have even tried to use in the past.
Essentially, the bar has been raised. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no excuse for having a poorly written website. There's no excuse for a bad looking logo. You can get advice on all of these things, and just that bar has been raised. And if we're getting that information out here to people, because if you're not using these tools, your competition is.
Yeah.
And they're all going to look better than you. So these tools are available to you. So please use them. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, all right, throwing it back to you for your last point.
So actually, I have a couple things. One, I'll talk more about this next week, because the second one's more in tune with what we're talking about. But Google Ads will be using generative AI, and I want to dig down deep in what we're going. And maybe when I have more information on that, that'll be important because that's going to help people. But I want to talk about Luminaire, which is text to video. And it's gotten all the buzz the last few days. It's from Google. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. Now, they only show videos and examples, but you can create text to video, which is amazing. Now, we're all getting excited about DALL-E and how we can do all that, and all the different types of image generators that are coming out right now. But this, oh my, wow. I mean, you can upload a video, let's say of a model, and you can change the dress. You can put glasses on her. They have you. So just put in Luminaire. So it's Lumiere, and then video. Now it's stored. This information is stored at GitHub, which is a repository for people, people like me who like to share code and things like that. That's where it's being shared right now. And go take a look. You will be impressed and scared even more. But what it can do, creating cinemagraphs, meaning you could put up an image, and let's say it's an image of a fire, and then you can just circle that area and say, make the fire go, and everything else will stay still. That's what a cinemagraph is. It's usually one element of a photograph that's moving. So if you ever see something still, but the flag is moving, and sometimes you'll see that on a website, those are cinemagraphs. And so you can do that. It can, create different elements within the image. It can create an image from scratch. You can improve upon things. I mean, it's one of those things that's everything that you thought it would be. And yeah, this is, you want to talk about deep fakes. You want to talk about never trust video again. Here it is. And
Wow,
all
that
these
happened
things.
quick. I mean, within a
Oh,
year now, going from DALL-E to all of a sudden pictures to video
yeah.
happened that quick.
Yeah.
But what I love about this podcast, Rosh, is that you just opened my eyes to something that I'm currently looking for. I've
Yeah.
been working on video editing songs as my band, our album release is, forthcoming this year. And I want to start making some music videos, whether they be lyric videos, where lyrics pop up creatively. And I've, gotten a bunch of images from GPT and DALL-E and everything and put it in and added effects, but I want ways of being able to make it into a video that looks, so I'm gonna try this probably
No,
this
it's
weekend.
not available yet.
Oh,
It's
come
only
on.
showing you. Yeah, they're just teasing us right now over the last few days.
Dangling the carrot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is going to be dangerous. In some ways, they're going to have to figure out how to mark the AI stuff and the human stuff, and how we're going to go about this over this next year. It's all, I mean, we're going to have it all. Voice, your voice, my voice. We can already do that. We already can use the script as a podcast system we could record on. And then if you or I flub, most likely me, we could replace the words, and it would be just fine. And so we can have the voice. So we have stills and video, coding, you name it, everything will be there. So that means irresponsible people will be irresponsible, responsible people will be responsible, and we'll need to figure out how to tell between the two worlds. And
Well,
it's going to be
yeah.
interesting.
With this all coming up and it being a political year, just remember, not everything you see or read right away is always truth. Look to make sure the source it comes from is verified, and even some of these verified sources are getting fooled. So
Yeah.
don't trust everything right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they'll let you know if they got fooled. They'll let you know if they're a credible source. So very good. Anything else on our agenda? Nope. Good
No,
stuff. All right.
I think we're good. And, just to kind of keep everyone on the edge of their seat, we've got some big ideas brewing to try to, mix up this podcast a little bit. So certainly something in the AI direction. So excited to, kind of give a little bit of a glimpse of a clue on that. I don't think we're telling
Yeah.
them yet, but we've got an idea brewing.
Oh yes. Yes. That'll be interesting if that comes to fruition. We'll see.
I'm hoping we'll see. So, but all right.
All
Yeah.
right.
Until next time, we'll see you all next week. Thank you.
See you next week.